And so we have ourselves a new president, President Donald J. Trump. There are a number of videos out right now that are going viral that are predictions for the new Trump administration. Trump predictions, this, that, and the other. Well, here's, I think, what many people missed from the first go around. They're probably going to see more of the same. Now, there's likeliest, and then there's long shottiest. In my opinion, what is likeliest is some stricter immigration rules, lower taxes, a much improved economy, probably improved prices for consumer goods, and that's all largely as a result of opening up opportunities for energy producers to produce more energy, specifically gas, oil, natural gas, and the decreased cost of energy, therefore transportation, therefore products. Spending goes up, but also savings goes up. And it creates a fantastic spiral that is resulting in more people starting more businesses that are more successful than at any point in history. So I think small businesses. Most people don't remember, who are coming of age now, either of age or coming into their own. They don't remember what it was like from 2017 until about January 2020. They just don't remember. That period of about 3 years was the greatest growth period for early entrepreneurs, founders, startups, self-employed freelancers than anything we have seen in modern history. There were so many shenanigans that the media drummed up and that opposition to the first Trump administration drummed up that most people don't realize how good they had it. And then when COVID happened, so much of the destruction that was caused by COVID-19 was in fact the response to the pandemic, as opposed to the pandemic itself. Now, millions of people died, of course, so we're not going to discount that. But that period prior to that, those 3 years, we are going to, I believe, witness something like that again. We're also likely to notice a period of de-escalation and relative peace in areas where there has been strife. Think specifically Israel and Ukraine. And there are other parts of the world where there are skirmishes and there are talks of various civil wars and other conflicts. And those are all, I believe, likely. Much of the administration, I believe, is going to be boring, except for the occasional tweet or post that just really pops off, that the media runs with and tells everyone, oh no, it's horrible, terrible, very good, awful. But I remember in June 2019, I was with a family member in the car who was listening to NPR. And I remember seeing a viral Trump tweet that morning. It was a longer one. I think there was where he replied to it or he had quote tweeted or something like that. And I remember seeing the whole thing. And it started off just going hard into the paint, so to speak, against the opposition. And then when you hear the rest of it, read the rest of it, okay, this makes sense. He's totally right about this. And NPR's anchor read only the first half of the tweet on air, live, and then stopped. And then everyone gave their commentary on it, and they never read the rest of the tweet. We're going to see more of that this go around. Because people who are still paying attention to the media are the people who still want to believe it. So there's not going to be much change there, unfortunately. So those are what are likely to occur. If you're self-employed or want to be, this is the time for you. There might be, I would say there's likely to be some consequences for the debt, the spending, the inflationary monetary policy of the United States federal government. So it's not going to be exactly a one-to-one match, but I think it's likely going to be like that. What is long shottiest, I believe, are actual mass deportations of tens of millions of illegal aliens. I believe that is more a long shot than likely. Now, self-deportation is likely, simply for the fact that there's fear. Decrease of illegal immigration is likely. Everything associated with Project 2025 is not even long shot, it's unlikely. I know that there are people who are still to this day in my DMs calling me out for supporting Trump because there's going to be mandatory period tracking apps for all female U.S. citizens. They still believe this to this day. Not going to make it. So that's the situation. There's what's likely, there's what's long shot. I think what is likely is clemency or pardons or some sort of actual, ironically, restorative justice for the January 6th protesters, the 1,000 plus. I believe there's between 1,000 and 1,900, something like that, political prisoners in the United States, and that's what they are. Of course, they believe that they were protesting the illegal, unconstitutional installment of a totalitarian dictatorship, aka Joseph R. Biden. So we're going to see that likely. What's a long shot is, unfortunately, in my opinion, what is a long shot is the retributive justice, the reciprocal justice of those who were involved in political imprisonment in this country. I believe that is more like a long shot than likely, simply because there's so much stuff that has to get done that's coming up. That's what is past will unfortunately feel like it's in the past, and there's going to be so much more focus on the job that's to be done, what's coming in the future, current and future events, as opposed to past events that are years gone by. And unfortunately, I believe bygones are going to be bygones and out of sight, out of mind. And once various characters from the opposition, from the former regime, once they are out of power or out of influence or just simply out of attention, they'll be able to slither away. This is what I believe is likeliest. Now, what I'm giving you right now is a lesson on predictions. This is useful to you in how to analyze your own life. There's what is likeliest and what is long shottiest. I'm saying long shot, but like shottiest, right? It's because it's fun to say. I like you to think this way. Think in terms of long shottiest and what is likeliest. Most people think what they want to happen, and they try to cope into believing that that's likeliest. Oh, Trump's totally going to deport all 25 million of them. Actually, there's 40 million illegal aliens. He's going to deport all 40 of them. Just going to get them out of here. Okay, is that likely, or is that more like a long shot? And even think about it from the perspective of the opposition, those who believe Project 2025 is real. Do you really believe that there is going to be an assigned registered nurse who's also a member of the Registered Republican Party who's going to show up at your doorstep and demand every female take a pregnancy test in the House? This is what liberal activists are saying right now. They actually believe this. There's memes and pictures, and animations and drawings and videos showing this, that they actually believe this is going to happen. Is that likely, or is that a long shot? Like, I don't even think that's a long shot. That is impossible. So there's what people want to forthtell, which is the idea that if we say it should happen or say it will happen, then it will. There are very few characters who can make that sort of thing happen. There's three that I know personally: Jack Posobiec, Scott Adams, and Michael Cernovich. Those three men are able to forthtell simply by saying something will happen. Ultimately results in a cascade of that event actually happening for real. The art of predicting it, the act of predicting it, resulted in a beautiful orchestration of it coming to pass. Are you Scott Adams, Jack Posobiec, or Mike Cernovich? If not, this is not for you. Foretelling is not for you. You are a hobbit. Now, you can be a productive hobbit, a useful hobbit, a valuable hobbit to your small community in the Shire. And I still think that that's worthwhile for you. But when you make predictions for yourself, for your personal life, for your career, think about what is likeliest versus what is long shottiest. Most people have objectives that are long shot, and then they have that as their goal. And there's not any real practical way for them to go about without blind, dumb luck, chance, or hope or prayers for it to actually come to pass. And if there's anything that you learn from persuasion, it's what is likeliest to work to persuade someone. Well, what is likeliest to work to persuade someone is a leader, aka you, who thinks in terms of what's likely versus what's long shot. What is 90% likely and what is 10% likely? In that case, that's a long shot or less. right? And you might even think of what's more than 50% likely, maybe 75%, 80% even. What is likeliest? And then what is long shottiest? And what can you do to make the long shot more likely, or to make what is likely very beneficial to you personally? They're like levers. Reality has levers, has a user interface. And understanding long shots versus likely is going to help you get what you want in life, which is going to be persuading people to adopt your way of thinking because you've thought through it. You've game theoried it, whereas other people are thinking in terms of hope and cope. Meaning, well, you're the only one who has a good head on your shoulders. That can be you.